YouTube. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome. My name's Eimear, and we were at the threshold, at the turning of the wheel of the seasons of the year. And we are moving from summer solstice into Lughnasadh. So get settled in here. Let us know in the chat where you're dialing in from and why you're here as well. So hopefully, okay, can you hear? Let me see. I did change the volume. So maybe I need to change it back. Let me change it back to input. Just bear with me a minute. Okay, how is that? Is that better? Let me know. I had changed it to original sound for music. Yep, that's good. Okay, thank you so much for letting me know, or we'd be doing this whole session in silence. So welcome everyone. Hopefully people can hear me. If you're on YouTube, let me know where you're coming in from, and if you're over on Zoom, the same. So this is in honor of the turning of the seasons, the passing of the torch from summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere to winter solstice in the Southern Hemisphere. I'm getting all my hemispheres mixed up. Although it feels a bit like winter here, it has cooled down a bit here in Scotland. And Anya, who is the illuminated one, the goddess of summer solstice, she passes the torch to Talchu, who is the queen of Lughnasadh. And I'm going to share in this today a little bit about Lughnasadh and this season and how we can connect more deeply with this time. And also what I shared in my email as well to invite you here is that sense of grief, of an individual and collective grief that is still here and is wanting our attention and wanting to be moved and shifted and released. And for those of you that have signed up to my next online summit, which is starting on the 8/8 portal, the Lions Gate portal, for those of you that have already signed up, and if you haven't, it's queen-summit.com if you want to register for free. And this is in celebration of 6 years on from the witch awakening I had back on the Lionsgate 2020, but also in order to fully claim the Queen as the highest vibration of the feminine energy and integrate that within us whatever gender we are or connect with or relate to. It's the king and the queen in their divine highest frequency that are wishing to be integrated within us. And in order for that to happen, for the queen to remember her reign and step back and reclaim her throne, her seat of power, her sovereignty, we're being asked to release what is here that is no longer serving us, that does not need to be here. And that includes grief. Because it came through very strongly for me just 2 days ago. I was having a mentorship session with my mentor, Phoenix Popiolek, 21st Century Oracle. And it was that grief. And I just knew, wow, that needs to shift. And let's do it together in order to inhabit Queen. So thanks for coming along for this delightful subject. But first, we'll delve into Lughnasadh and connect with the energies of this time. And thank you to those of you sharing over on YouTube. Hello, Peg in Chicago. You're saying the sound is much better. Thank you. Hello, Alicia from Oregon. Hello from New Hampshire. Hello from Brooklyn, New York. Hello, Katerina in Germany. Wonderful to have you all here. And it's so lovely being here live as well, isn't it? There's something very alive to the energy when we just show up and connect live. So first, I did bring a candle along if you do happen to have one nearby. It's always beautiful to mark these seasonal changes with the elements. So we have our fire and the fires that are lit around Ireland, around Éirú and beyond, to celebrate and honor the goddess, the mother goddess of the land, and also to bring back the life force, the Nearth, the energy to the land. The fire also has the cleansing properties, and in ancient times, the people would drive their cattle through the fires, not through the burning fires, between them. As a cleansing, the smoke is cleansing, just like we burn incense or sage or lavender. It's the cleansing properties. So we bring in the presence of fire to join us here today in this gathering, and imagining that we are gathered around the bonfire at this time. We also bring in and call in the water, the beautiful life-giving water in its purest form. And I love your fire emojis, Henry. Thank you. And the water of life that keeps us alive, we invite water in now as well. And the air, our breath that breathes us, that also keeps us alive. And the air in the trees and around us that keep us on our toes. We invite in the air now and the sacredness of our speech when we speak with honesty, with truth. And that also brings the clearing of the throat chakra as well. When we do speak, it's one of the great ways to do that. See, singing, speaking, chanting. Hello from Minnesota. Lovely to have you here. Hello, Francis in Dublin. Lovely to have someone from my hometown. And Kristen in Vancouver Island in Canada. All the way over in Vancouver Island. Hello to you. From my perspective, all the way over. And then we bring in Earth. Earth, the ground beneath our feet. And it's more important than ever now to feel earthed at this time. So many people are talking about the powerful portal that we're stepping into. And I imagine, like me, so many of us can feel that as well, feel the changing of the energies. So it's no better time than to feel even more grounded, the earth beneath our feet. And in this moment, let's imagine roots unfurling from the soles of your feet as you connect souls to soil, to the land, wherever you are around the world. Hello, Rosalind from Devon, UK. And we have Dawn from Devon as well. And hello, Caroline from Cork. Lovely to have you here. And as those roots unfurl from the soles of your feet, just imagine them making their way down, down, down through the earth, through the soil, past the rocks and the crystals and the caves, the underground rivers, through the bogs and our ancient tree ancestors and plant life and moss. And this is really where Bog Queen comes into her own, inviting you to delve deeper and deeper still into the richness and the fertility that resides within the earth and the soil, right under our feet. And she's calling us to root even deeper now at this time, and to remember to do this, to call out for support to be even more rooted and grounded at this time. Because, like the tree of life, whether it's the ash tree, the oak tree, the Celtic tree of life, or Yggdrasil, it invites us to go deep because we can only go as high as we are deep. That's the message from the tree of life. So, like the ash tree, its roots are as deep as its branches are as high. So, in order to rise up or ascend, we've got to go even deeper. And it's not necessarily the underworld, although that's a great place to go to connect and release and clear. It's into the fertile soil to retrieve the treasures that you buried eons ago. But we'll talk more, connect more with that in the Queen Summit that's coming up next week. And for now, just feeling that sense of earthiness, that sense of groundedness, and that sense of spaciousness as you breathe into your roots, inviting a softening to you, to your body, and I can instantly feel my stomach softening. It's just amazing how we can hold on without even knowing. And just that invitation of breath, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, just allows your whole nervous system, your whole being to soften. And also to connect with the energies that are alive here right now within you. And inviting anything that wants to go now and be released into the earth to do that, to start this process of releasing, so that the energies can flow more freely within you. And earth is always here to support that. And what do you notice as we're connecting here now around the Lughnasadh fires? What do you notice within yourself? I notice a slight constriction in my throat, and that softening of my stomach, my solar plexus. I can feel a softening of my shoulders and a deeper connection to all of you here in circle. And it's so easy to forget, to honor, to be still even for a moment. And likewise, it's so easy to remember to be still and take a moment to breathe, to clear, and to connect here heart to heart. And as we do so, we connect to the energies of this season and the Celtic medicine wheel, the Irish wisdom wheel, the energies of the north, where the Cailleach witch resides, the unknown winter solstice, the energies of the east, Bowen, cow goddess, at spring equinox, and the energies of the south, Anya at summer solstice, in the full illumination, in the glory of who you are. And midway between solstice, summer solstice, and autumn equinox, we're here now at Lughnasadh in the southwest of the medicine wheel in the Northern Hemisphere. So Lughnasadh, it's actually has been named, and some people think it's named after sun god Lugh, but it's actually been named after Lugh's foster mother. So let me explain for a moment how this season came about in the mythology around that. So before the Tuatha De Danann arrived in Ireland and inhabited the sacred lands of Eru, goddess Eru, who Ireland is named after, we had a spell of the Fir Bolg for, it seems rather specific, 37 years, they say, the Fir Bolg inhabited Ireland. And this race of beings literally means the clay men. Fear is men. So the clay people. And they actually brought fertility and farming to Ireland. In some stories, they were taken captive. They already resided in Ireland, but they were taken as slaves to Greece and made to carry bags of clay. And then they traveled back from Greece, from east back west to Ireland with their bags of clay. They spread their bags of clay and brought fertility to the land of Ireland and helped clear the land in small bits to allow the community, the nomadic people, to begin to settle and support themselves, feed themselves in community upon the land. So Talchu, the goddess Tailltiu, who is the goddess of this time, is the queen of the Fir Bolg. What better way to celebrate this time with the queen energies? And then her foster son, Lugh, is the king of the other world, where the veil is thin at this time of the changing of the seasons. So Tailltiu, as one of the Fir Bolg, helped to clear the land of Ireland, but in a very sustainable ecological way, I imagine, in order to begin farming on the land of Ireland and support the community. And this may be the first time where we have the meitheal, the art, the sacred art of community at its very essence, where a community will thrive when everyone takes their part, where everyone really takes their seat at the table. And each person in their uniqueness contributes to the overall health of the community. So, what a beautiful metaphor for each one of us, where we contribute to life, to work through our gifts, our unique gifts, our unique, diverse range of qualities in order to support the whole ecosystem of our earth. And that may feel so big and grand and great. And yet, that is what we're doing at this time. That's what we're being asked to do, to release any more parts of ourselves that no longer serve us, any false parts, any masks that we need to release and dissolve so that the true you shines even more. But the story does not have a happy ending, sadly. But in her earnestness of clearing the land, she died from exhaustion. So many of the myths. The endings are sad. It's a sad death. She overworked. Where is that the story and the message for all of us? And passed away from exhaustion. However, she had the final word before she passed on, and she asked Lugh, her foster son, because fosterage was common in Ireland at that time, to teach him the skills that he needed to support his community. She asked Lugh, sun god Lugh, to honor her, to remember Talchu eternally by holding games at this time, at the time of Lughnasadh. So Lughnasadh, although Lugh's name is in it as the king of the other world, as the bright shining sun god, it actually is in honor of his foster mother, Talchu. And they say this is actually where the first games started because Telltown in Meath, in Ireland's ancient East, is where the ancient Eimear, the great fair, would be held. And it's likened to what would become the Olympic Games. So some people claim that the Olympics actually started in Ireland, in Telltown, in County Meath, in Ireland's ancient East. And these games were like no other games. These games were where you showed up in your fullest And if you were good at running, you would race. If you were good at the javelin, you would play javelin. There'd also be Irish dancing, there'd be singing. So it was all the cultural aspects of Ireland. There'd be Gaelic football, hurling, all of these things that would take place at the Telltown Games. So Lugh did that and he honoured his mother. So when we're celebrating Lughnasadh, we are honouring Talchu as the grain mother, the earth mother, the queen of the harvest, the queen of this time of Lughnasadh. And I just love that. I love that idea of the honoring nature of that, even though sad, she died from exhaustion. However, that's what's been written in the myth. But anyway, she became the earth and is immortalized at this time in the games at the time of Lughnasadh. So hence we light the fire, we bring in the symbolism of the torch being passed at this threshold time. And it is a time at Lughnasadh to play, to demonstrate our gifts, and with a confidence, with a prowess, and to celebrate all that you are, and also to give thanks to Mother Nature for the abundant harvest that she gifts us. So naturally, in the Northern Hemisphere, the harvest is happening. We have the abundance of crops, of plant life, of berries, of growth in the fields. Nature is sharing her abundance at this time. So we come together in community to harvest that abundance and not just harvest and store it, but we eat it. We enjoy it. We enjoy the wild raspberries that are growing in the woods and the blackberries that are to come in my neck of the woods. We enjoy the beautiful crops that we have dug up from the land. So it's that aspect of tasting, of feeding our mortal bodies to receive and ingest that goodness. And I love that. I mean, who wouldn't? Where we get to feast, we get to party, we get to meet our community that we might not have seen since the last festival at Summer Solstice or since the last turning of the Lughnasadh cycle. So it's a beautiful time to reconnect with other beings, human, non-human, the shining ones, the fairy beings, the fair bollogs who inhabit Ireland at that time. And there were matches made as well at the Telltown fair, weddings, hand fasting that would last for a year and a day, just to test out your partner if you wanted to be with them or not. You had a get out clause. So what else about Lughnasadh? So how about for you? So what energies are alive for you at this time of year? Because we are here from so many different parts of the world. So yeah, when you feel into the energy where you are, what does that feel like for you? And what at this time are you wishing to harvest and feast upon? What at this time are you wishing to celebrate? Because it is also the time, and you can journal, connect with these questions now. You can journal with them, walk with them, play with them after this as well. What do you want to celebrate within yourself and your gifts? Because it's so important we pause and honor all that you are, all that we are, and the gifts that you are simply by being you, simply by being you, by breathing, by inhabiting the space, by speaking your truth in the most kind way, and by sharing your voice in the most natural way that you share it. And Talchu as queen of this time of Lughnasadh, she holds that grief. The land holds that grief as well. And it's asking for us to help continue to clear that grief. Because I was reflecting on that before coming on here. You know, it's a funny thing, grief. And maybe that's funny, haha, or just an interesting thing because we know we're not here forever, although our souls are, depending on your beliefs. I believe our souls are immortal and our bodies aren't for now. And nor should they be, really, because, yeah, that was my question. When our friends, family, people we know, when people pass on, do the dead grieve us? Do you think they do? That was what I was thinking before coming on. Do they? Or when they've passed on, they see and experience the greater energies, the bigger picture. So they really do know this is not the end. However, we know we're going to die. We know people around us are going to leave us, our pets, our animals. There will be endings as much as there will be beginnings. That's what the triple spiral represents: birth, death, rebirth. And yet it brings grief. It brings this array of emotions. And yeah, we're being asked to feel that just even a little bit more. Because it's sad when that person isn't there. It's sad when that pet is gone. And actually, Riley, my dog, is that's my first pet. So I haven't experienced that with him yet, with my doggy. But with people I have, and we miss them, their voices, their touch, their feel, their smell, connecting through all the senses. And we know they are here in spirit, in soul. I can feel the tingles. We know we can connect with them through, well, through telepathy, through the different clairs. And yet there's still grief. There's still that feeling of loss, that ochone, that olagone, that lament, that if we don't pay exquisite attention, it can get stuck and calcified in our bodies. And the keen, the queena of ancient Ireland was a way professional keeners were brought in at the time of the wake, the funeral, the wake before the funeral and the burial, in order to support people in getting the flow of grief, of emotion flowing. So they would sing, they would ullagone and cry out in order to help people, a way to make it permissible to grieve in whatever way. And if that meant wailing and letting it all out through sound, then so be it. That is what must happen. And as I mentioned in my little video the other day, that one of our speakers, Mary McLaughlin, she teaches the Irish Keen. Her book is coming out about the Irish Keen, and I've interviewed her. She talks about that in my Queen Summit that's coming up, queen-summit.com. Register for free. If you haven't already, do it now. And the little side adverts are coming back in. And yeah, so let's take a moment and connect in with this emotion of grief, of loss, of endings. And it may be in connection to a person, a group of people, a society. It may be in connection to a dear pet or a beautiful tree or being out in nature. You may be feeling grief in relation to what's playing out in our world, what has been amplified and been repeated through the news, through mainstream media. The grief is very visceral, it's very real. And it's here now for us to feel, knowing that you are held in this sacred container. We are gathered around the Lughnasadh fire. You're deeply rooted in the land, supported by Bog Queen, who invites you to root even deeper. Your roots go down and out for the maximum, ultimate foundational support. Your roots are strong. They are nourished. They are enduring. And they are continuing to grow. So you are supported in this moment to connect in with this word, grief, and what that brings up for you. What kind of grief is your grief? Because it's so unique in its flavor, in its expression. And does the grief have a size or a shape? When you connect in with grief now, and is there anything else about grief as we connect together with this sacred emotion that reminds us that we're human, that we are a being of love, with the ability to feel a vast array of emotions that want to flow like an eternal river. Noticing, breathing. If you want to place your hand on your body, on your heart, your stomach, and your womb space, but also the womb of Mother Earth, the womb of the mother from where we have all come from. This is the cauldron, the chalice, the grail, and it can hold so many of the emotions. And notice any sensations in your body where we hold or may hold on a little tight. That's the invitation to soften just a little bit, just enough to feel. And when grief has a size or a shape and is a kind of grief expressed through you, where is it now? Is it in the inside of you or the outside? And these questions that I'm asking are soul-based coaching questions that open up conversation with the language of your soul, bypassing our logical brain. So just allow whatever emerges for you to come up, because it helps to express and connect with grief in a much more tangible way to open this conversation some more. So in this moment, as we open this conversation, this dialogue, this chat, a cup of tea with grief. What would grief like to have happen in this moment? Another drop of tea, a spoon of sugar to sweeten the feeling, or nothing, just silence to be. Silence to feel. To connect. To honor. Remembering to breathe. And whatever is flowing for you, know that it's exactly as it is meant to be. It's such a tender space, this. To connect together with what is such a pure emotion that we all know and experience. And yet we don't have to hold on to it all. Because the earth and Talchu have their arms outstretched to receive you and the grief that flows from you now, if that feels right. And also grief can flow down through your roots into the earth to be absorbed and transmuted. And it doesn't mean you disconnect from whatever you are grieving for, whatever loss is. You can still be connected, but without any constraints or limitations or blocks of what grief may have calcified within. So imagining now a golden river of plasma, gold being the highest vibrational frequency, this royal, noble, stable elemental. And that gold offers you his frequency, its frequency of royalty to support the continued clearing of grief, of any stuck emotions as and when they arise. So you can imagine or feel, you might already be feeling this golden liquid plasma that is animated from the cosmos, from the ancient times, from other planets and constellations and stars, animated for you in this moment. And that river of gold is flowing through you, through your roots, the soles of your feet, up into your body to infuse you in gold. And also it wraps itself around you in the most beautiful, divine way, so that you are encased in gold. And it's why the ancient beings wore the gold jewelry, so beautifully crafted, so thin, and so royal, like the torque around their neck resting on their heart. The brooches, bracelets, rings, earrings, and also the golden crown because of its healing qualities and its high resonance. And for you to remember in this moment that yes, the Queen grieves for the children in her queendom, for what we have endured over many, many lifetimes. She grieves. Her heart cracks open over and over. This is the true Queen of Hearts, not the one portrayed in Alice of Wonderland. And as her heart cracks open, more love, more rivers of gold emerge and flow. And she invites you as the Queen, Talchu, the Queen in her queendom, to allow these energies to flow in order to create space for more of your royal regalness to return. Because how can we fully reclaim our sovereign nature if we're stuck in a pattern of grief, of trauma, of denial, possibly, of blindness, blinkeredness? We all have our blind spots, and this is the opportunity to open, maybe to widen the blinkers, to be open to receive the wisdom some more, and to create the space for the true royal energies, the Queen codes, to come back online. It's like we're collectively keening the world that we have found ourselves in. And as we collectively keen, we collectively release. So I'd love to offer the beat of my drum just for a moment. So allowing yourself to be exactly as you are. And this is my offering to you at this time of Lughnasadh, to enjoy the heartbeat of the drum and allow the rhythm to activate you. But first, let me introduce you to my drum. Here she is. And the stick is actually yew from Dingle, from the Dingle Peninsula, where my mother's from. It was a tree that had fallen. This was made by Vicky Cullen, who lives in Kerry. And she had this insight and this knowing to bathe the skin in the well water from Gobnut's well in Ballyvourney. So this has been bathed in the sacred well waters of Ireland from the land. So hello, drum says hello. Taking a moment here to allow beautiful healing qualities of the drum, all the way from Ireland, to wash over you. And Patrick, my brother's retriever, paid a visit to support the healing at this time. In reality, he was here a minute ago. I think he likes the drum. So let's take another moment here, feeling our energies around the world, feeling our hearts, and allowing them to be cracked open. If this is your time, knowing and remembering and reminding yourself to remain rooted, that you are held and supported, and to feel that connection from souls to soil to roots. And at this time of shifting energy, over the next 6 to 7 weeks, we'll be walking with Queen Talchu and Sun God Lugh to remind us of the harvest that is available here, and to remind you of your gifts that are returning now so naturally for you. So if you do wish to share in the chat, if there's anything that's alive for you, or you may want to stay in this space, in the energies, and continue to feel and to honor what wants to be released through you. I can still feel some sensation here in my throat. I definitely am feeling more grounded, and that there's space for the energies to flow. And to honor each other. Lughnasadh as well is the time to dance. Dance at the Crossroads. There's a famous play in Ireland called Dancing at Lughnasadh. And I see us all now dancing as the light begins to fade and the nighttime comes. We are dancing around the bonfire. And metaphorically, what that's representing is this full reclamation. Through dance, we're activating ourselves and the earth and helping to integrate the energies at this time, and the codes, the frequencies. So I think that is all that I wished to share with you at this time. So if anyone has any questions or wants to share, let me know. If you want to learn more about Lughnasadh and the time of Lughnasadh, I do have a workshop that I did record live, but it's available to purchase the replay. Dancing at Lughnasadh, I've actually called it, with Tailltiu and Lugh. Tend to the seeds of your soul within the fertile soils. So I'll put a link to that in the YouTube description, because I don't think I can put it in YouTube right now, but let me try. And also, let's see if that link comes up. Um, Also, yes, the Queen Summit. Queen, Queen, Queen. Come join me next week, the Lionsgate portal, 8/8, where I will have a live opening ceremony. It's at 1 p.m. UK time is the live opening ceremony for queen-summit.com. And this is going to be So powerful. So powerful. There may be more releasing. Who knows what else is going to emerge in the next week or so. And it's an opportunity to celebrate and fully inhabit our sovereign queen, this innate sovereignty that is within us. It's our birthright. And we're reclaiming that now and remembering. So it's Queen, Remember Your Reign is the name of the summit. And I've got 15 speakers, including me. And the talks have been absolutely wonderful so far. I've pre recorded some of them, and we will have some live talks throughout the week of the Lionsgate from the 8th to the 12th. And I can't wait for those too. So you get to be part of the conversation. You can show up and ask your questions. That will be on Zoom and YouTube. And it really is an invitation for us all, me included. With each conversation, I can feel the heart opening within me. I can feel my heart opening and me returning to my sovereign nature. So if I am, then you are, and the collective is. So no more Queen of Hearts with that, you know, telling the dormouse to get out of court and chop off his head. No more queens like that. This is a reclamation of the pure, divine queen. So I'm excited for that and how that's going to unfold. And yeah, it's free. It's free to attend. So come along if you so wish to delve into more queen magic. Let me look at the wonderful comments on YouTube. So facilitating love on earth. I love your name. The last few days I felt the Cailleach calling, strongly visiting you. What a welcomed visitor. My neighbor, a flower farmer, brought me her first sunflowers this week. Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. How gorgeous. And I'm just looking to see where you are. You're in New Hampshire, USA. Fabulous. I love sunflowers. They're bringing my home and my senses much delight. The golden rod are in bloom, a sure sign in early autumn, and the mornings and evenings have been cooler. Yeah, slightly cooler here too. We haven't got the bulk of the heat wave that the rest of the world, I would say, has gotten, and it's actually raining now, which is rain. Queen, remember your reign. It's supporting the dissolving of grief. Maybe that dance around the fire was a rain dance, actually. Sit on the porch wrapped in a blanket with a cup of hot tea. Wonderful. Cinnamon, clove, and rose. Oh, I love that. Such a feast for the senses. And celebrate grief. But it absolutely is necessary. And imagining grief is sitting opposite us. It is having a cup of tea with grief. It's let's talk. Let's connect heart to heart and share the medicine beneath the wound, beneath the loss, or alongside it. Katerina, thank you. That was very beautiful. Evangeline Sage. Ooh, nice name. I will be harvesting my blackberries today with much more intention. Oh, that's gorgeous. Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you all. I was thinking we'll be on for about half an hour. And of course, there is no rush. There is no need to rush when we connect like that. And yeah, look after yourselves, take care of yourselves. Give yourself some space to process, to integrate, drink fluids, and have a beautiful day. Rest of your day. And sending you all so much love. Oh, yes, speak the link. Some call in on Zoom, no chat available. Oh, yes. Yes. So the link, oh, good idea. So if people want to go deeper with Talchu and Lugh, and I go into much more depth on them, and there's a journey to it's go onto my website, Irish Wisdom School, all one word, .com. And it's on my website. And then if people want to join my summit that's starting next week, it's queen-summit.com because it is a Queen Summit. So yeah, thank you for that, Sunshine's 1950. And it will be in the description for those watching the replay in the YouTube description. Katerina's saying, so looking forward to the summit. So am I. This is my 7th one, and everyone feels so different in energy. Gurav Mahagut, Becca, thank you. Alicia, thank you for sharing your joy, poetry, and inspiration. The drumming was beautiful. I'm glad the drumming came through because I did change the sound back to musicians. And I'm minding Patrick for the next 2 weeks. He's so funny. He wasn't so funny yesterday when he rolled in fox poo. It was so, you had to get a full wash down outside. But he was very compliant. And he looked like he was having loads of fun as he rolled in the fox poo. And my dog looked on disdainfully, like, oh my goodness, how could you do such a thing? Animals are so funny. Patrick teaches me actually to just be funny and silly and daft. You know, that's his modus operandi. Is that the way you say it? So, yeah, thank you, lovely Irish sister. Thank you, Kathy. Lovely to have you here. Hello, Wendy. Disney girl Wendy is in the house. Thank you, Eimear. This is beautiful. It's raining here too. Okay, over and out because I can keep chatting. And I'm sure you've got lots of things to be doing. So, so much love. Let it flow. Thank you for being here. And I will talk to you again soon. Let's end this for now. Slán go